So I know most of y'all probably know what's going on with this crazy truck, but I feel like I do need to explain if this is the first time you're seeing this video. Guy had this truck, motor blew up, that's a different story. He got a local machine shop to rebuild one, put it in there, kept calling me saying it's running rich. A couple phone calls back and forth, and I finally was like, just bring it to me. So I got it here, and like I said, this is a course of, I've spent about 9 solid days on this truck to get to where I'm at. But first 3 days, literally, if it was a swappable sensor, I've swapped it. So, I mean, every single thing that could be swapped on this truck has been swapped. Carried it back to the machine shop, brought it back to me, telling me to throw more parts at it. Finally, I tore it down, I swapped the head, found out the head was too thin, put that back on, didn't change it, and came back and changed the lifters. And long story short, I bumped the exhaust one time and felt the front exhaust, and it was cold. What in the world? So I'm trying to explain 9 days here in like 2 minutes. So there's a lot of missing stuff, but it's randomly missing on 1 and 6 for sure. And then you may see a random miss on the middle cylinders. It's just inconsistent. But the only way you can get the truck to do right is if you raise the rocker arm height up to cancel out the lifters. And I know right there, I know it's gonna make people mad, I'm sorry, but a lot of people are saying shorter push rod. Yeah, most people are just saying shorter push rod. On paper it sounds right, but it's just not. It's not gonna fix it. That's what I've tried different push rods, I've tried this. Something funky is going on with the whole valve train system, and where I'm at, a lot of people have said it's the cam, and I'll be completely honest, I can't draw it out in my head to even make sense, but I'm just tired of working on the truck. Something to do with the base circle, and it's the wrong cut. I don't know. I just, like I said, at this point I ain't really made any money off this truck. I'm just trying to do a favor. Millions of variables I'm leaving out, but I just want this thing fixed. Like I said, this will be the 10th solid day I'm working on it, so I mean 10 times 8, that's like 80 hours of shop labor that at this point I just want it fixed. Let's change the cam out. We're off to a wonderful start. Blew it everywhere. Well, I got it out. One thing I forgot to say is, I'm sure if this is your first time watching this video, like, why did he jump so far into conclusion? Not saying it for my benefit, but if you would watch the first, maybe even the second video, this would all make sense. But it's just a very confusing situation. Got the cam out. This is the new one, Elgin. Yes, this one, who knows? I think it's Mexico. We can't prove that. Elgin's probably Mexico too. But this is a 2000 model, give or take. Yeah, I guess that's the difference, Justin, if you're watching right there. This takes the plate style for the thrust, and this just takes normal. But I don't know. I mean, I'm sure you can't visibly inspect and see anything, but I do think I want to go chuck it up in Justin's lathe and see, because once it comes off what you'd call the lift and goes into the base circle, it should see no lift at all. And that's my whole theory, or that's, if I had a theory on the cam, that would be my theory, is if it's coming off on this backside, that's where it makes compression. And I'm thinking that there's something ground wrong, and it's giving it just a little bump on the compression side of the cam, and it's just cracking the valve open. I don't know. This still makes no sense in my head, but kind of out of things left to try. So I got the cam chucked up. That's just a 3-jaw, but it should be good enough. And then out here should be true center. I have no shame in admitting I have no idea what I'm looking for. I'm just looking for something that seems off. I'll try to hold the camera as still as I can as I spin this, but let's see. I mean, that's lobe up. We get that. And I would assume, obviously I could degree this thing and figure it all out, but it seems like it starts changing early. Let's see. It's still moving, which I don't really understand why on the base circle. It's moving. Maybe that's my problem. But like, seems like it comes in a little early. I mean, we're still way off on the lobe, but I have no idea. I don't care to admit that. I mean, it's Justin coming here, but I don't think he knows either. We never really got into this stuff. Still going down, which I think is good. I mean, I feel like we're complete opposite of what I wouldn't say hoping for, but that would have been, while you're on the back side of the cam, it's opening the valve. I feel like you would have had lift instead of going away from it. You got any ideas?
You find anything you don't like?
No. Let me explain to him real quick. So me and him was talking, and neither of us are cam experts, but I remember Steve Morris, if you're checking the valves, they want it to be on, TDC of the other stroke, is that right? No, you'd want it on TDC of firing, right?
Yeah.
So that would put the cam, both lobes essentially straight down. That'd be the back side. From Steve Morris, which he knows motors. We know Steve knows his motors, but I don't know if that's his personal cut cams or if that's all cams. I don't know. But that's what me and Justin's talking about. I can't even see the numbers right now. But say it's coming off of a lobe right there. Once it gets to what I would say right about there, I feel like it should be the same all the way around till it gets back into about right there. And then I feel like it should start picking up. But we're seeing movement on the back side. I don't know a reason that I should know this, put it that way. You think I should go get the other cam and check it before I do anything, just to see?
You hadn't put it in yet? I mean, I would check it.
See
if there's difference. But you could even, if you wanted to, kind of mark where it's starts dropping off.
So let's see.
It's not very scientific, but it's better than
just knowing nothing.
Right.
It just seems like such a, I don't know, man. There's gonna be somebody new watching this video, like so confused. If you followed this whole series that I'm gonna call it,
you seem stressed.
Like I don't know what to do.
There's a certain point where a man just runs out of ideas and he needs a fresh start, but you don't really have a fresh start choice.
I mean, like everybody said, at this point I could have put a used motor in it in a day.
Yeah.
Move forward, and guy's happy because he just wants a motor to run. He just would rather spend more money. But I mean, right there is essentially 50% of the cam. I don't know. I'll be back. Well, this is the new cam. I don't really know what to say. Let's see. Just coming off intake valve. It closes. And I mean, it does seem to rest a lot better. It'll move like 2 or 3 thousandths, which I don't feel like it's enough to matter. And then starts picking up when it's supposed to. So I don't know. I got my fingers crossed. I got a stock cam. I'm just gonna see what it does in the lathe. All right, so this is just a factory cam. I got my hopes up. I said numbers technically don't even matter, but watch, we're gonna open intake valve, and we are gonna shut the intake valve about right there, and from there on out, about, I don't know, 70% of the cam, it just sits there. So that other one, it was actually moving the wrong direction, but who am I to say that? I don't know. I just want the truck fixed. Tired of teaching stuff I don't even know. But let's go put a cam in, I guess. So I hope this video is like 15 minutes and I get this truck running. Not really doing this for video's sake, but I just want this truck running right, and y'all kind of have closure, move on in life, and y'all, if y'all watch from the beginning, y'all understand. If you haven't, just go back. It's been legit. Gonna grease this cam up, shove it off in there gently, and I'm gonna be honest, you're supposed to break in the lifters. Number one, I'm supposed to have new lifters in the first place, but those literally, I mean, technically they don't even have a mile on them. The truck's never been drove. So I get it, it's wrong, but at this point, if it'll crank up and run right, and then eat a cam and a lifter up, at least we know it's wrong. We're just trying to figure out what's wrong with the truck. So I got a little positive vibe off of the way the cams, I mean, we'll see. Yeah, I mean, 20,000 right here on a 1.6 rocker comes out to like, I don't know, 35,000 give or take. So I mean, that's a spark plug gap, something. So where I was going is I'm supposed to break the cam in, hold it 2,000 RPM, 2,500 for extended period of time, and I get that. But I think what I'm gonna do, crank it up, let it idle for, let's say, 2 minutes possibly. If it seems like it's gonna run right, I'll go ahead and do the cam break in. But if it goes straight to the spitting and sputtering loping thing that it's been doing the whole time, probably just gonna pull the motor. So I'm gonna grease this cam up, move forward. So if you saw the other video, you'll know exactly what I'm speaking of here. Every rocker arm, they're not adjustable. You just clamp them down, torque them down, whatever. But every rocker, I had a different shim, washer, whatever I could come up with to get it as close to touching the lifter as possible, but with just like a little bit of slack. So where I'm going with is I got them all cinched down there. The lifters may still be going down, we'll see. But it should be to the point that it should fire up and run right. I figured just stop here. I guess I'll pull the motor. I don't. Man, if y'all just had a clue. All right, pretty sure I got every sensor hooked up. I got a new O2 sensor, but it's not on at the moment. But I just don't think, unless Renix is crazy, that it should crank up, go straight to O2 sensors. That's not how fuel injection works that I know. This is old school technology. As long as the distributor's in the right spot. Never done this before. I need a battery. I'm sure it's gonna crank up and miss for a second, but naturally it should clean up its act and get together. It's what I would like to happen, but you know. Made a difference. Wow. I was worried I'd get to this point and not know what to say. So at this point, don't leave the video. I got stuff to say after the thing. Oh, I feel like it'll clean up a little better. Probably gonna change plugs. And I'm probably gonna put that O2 sensor in. Wow. Now I gotta break the cam in. I don't even have words to say. I'm still at a loss of words, but I want to try one more time. One of them, I'm pretty sure it's going to clean up even better with more rotating mass, but if I forgot about checking that. If you wouldn't hear in the last videos, if it runs, this up here would never even, you could lay your hand, leave your hand. That's freaking weird. Like, that don't even make sense. Anyways, if you're wanting to click off the video, at least have the decency to go to, like, I don't know, the last 2 minutes of the video. I don't know how much more I might add. But I got one question for people watching it. That's honestly why I went through all this trouble. So if you're leaving now, at least click. If not, appreciate you staying. Let's keep on moving forward. Maybe this is a good day. Alright, one day I'll be a little more specific, but breaking in a cam is basically just getting oil flowing. So 2,000 to 3,000, some people say 20, 25, 30 minutes. Some people say if it gets hot, you can cut it off, restart. And then people also say that you don't even have to do it. So whatever, gotta get some air flowing. Fan. This one's got hot wire. About it, just oil flow. I have not started it since I put it all back together. Hope it ain't got no fuel leaks like last time. Come on, baby. This the worst part is I hope it's fixed, but I won't know for another like 20 minutes. So I'll put y'all down and we'll see when we get there. Yeah, we're 20 minutes, 19 minutes. This just feels so gross. Alright, come down slowly. I haven't come down since I started. Come on, come on. That's still the oil pump that I rebuilt, but I think we're in the clear. I know I should be like so excited. It's almost like depressing and exciting at the same time. That's it. That's unbelievable. I don't know what to say at all. Yay. Hooray. So I went and drove it. Everything's perfect. That is unbelievable. That's what I said. Not knocking anybody for ever saying that it was a bad cam, but at the end of the day, we had multiple choice. It was cam, push rod, lifters. You know, there's only so many things it could be in that. So, not knocking you for calling a cam, but nobody that I remember ever said it's the back side of the cam's going to dip in or something. I think you see what I'm getting at. So, if you did call it, you got it right. It's just wow. It's so crazy. My buddy had the same problem with LS. Actually, well, if y'all know the middle rock bouncer, that not the one I own, the one I had before, the one I used to race, he had the same problem. He wound up swapping all the guts over into another block, and it was a cam. So just crazy. Mechanic work sucks. Be anything but a mechanic. And if you do have a good mechanic that you trust, make sure to take care of them, because it's kind of what happened to me. I got so busy from people that trust me that I got overwhelmed, therefore I stayed too busy and I was making people mad because I was so busy, so I just pushed it away, walked away. Stuff like this, I mean, well, here in a second I'm going to tell you why I went so far on this. But my question is, who's liable for this? Like, I was just working on it. The guy that owns it now, like, this is going to come out wrong, and I know he's going to watch the video. He's relatively smart, understands everything that's going on, been super easy to deal with, but there's no real way that it's his fault. I mean, he wanted a rebuilt motor, he cut a check, he got somebody to put it in, or whatever the story was. So I mean, there's no real way to point at him that it's his fault. I mean, he was just doing what a person should do. Oh, could Dex been a better mechanic and picked this out earlier? I don't know how. I mean, to be completely honest, like, at first you want to point fingers at the person that built the motor. I don't even really think you could point fingers at them at this point, because the cam's laying there. I mean, I personally can't see anything wrong with it, even with like fancy Harbor Freight tools. But I still think that's a Mexico motor. I can't prove it. That was one of the reasons I wanted to prove it. Regardless, I'm gonna figure out what hard parts I've spent money on. I'm gonna pay Justin for his parts, head, cam, lifters, and then I'm just gonna figure out what I've got in the truck. I want that money back, and whatever he pays me from there. I mean, there's no way I can ever get fully paid. But okay, so go back. I started business many years ago, and be honest, I was struggling like any business should when they start out. And I come across this Jeep, pretty nice Jeep, Grand Cherokee, don't change the story. And it run and drove, just didn't have a title. I was like, shoot, I said, I can sell the motor, transmission for what I had in the Jeep. Time went on, got a phone call from Sheriff's Department. So they asked about the Jeep. You know, of course, I had to say I had it. Couldn't lie about it. Well, I guess it made me look bad. My mom seen it. She's like, what's wrong with that Jeep? I was like, nothing, it just needs a title. So she drove it home to her place. I was like, if you can find a title, you can pay me what I had in it. So she got to calling around. Well, then that pretty much told on myself, for I was the one that had it. So then they pinpointed me, found out the Jeep was stolen. So out of nowhere, cops showed up, and they was like, where's the Jeep? I was like, I know this looks bad. Told them where it's at. My mom showed up, police took it, and I was out. Had nothing going for me. So a guy that I'd done business with before happened to be, I'm not going to call him out, but he was into law enforcement. He made some phone calls, got everything set straight, and actually wound up getting the boy that actually stole it to make payments and pay me back my money. So therefore, I never really lost nothing. But for what I had in that Jeep at that time period of my business, that would have put me in a tight spot. So I felt like I always owed that guy a favor, and that would be his son that owns that. So that's the story on that. I'm sure there's more details, but just one of those, you felt like you owe somebody a favor. You know, this could have been me. I could have got Justin to rebuild a motor, and we got the same bad cam that, I don't know, just I'm glad it's fixed. It's like hopefully the last headache I have in a while. Appreciate everybody's watched and commented and helped out, but I think it's time to move on and do fun stuff, because I hope nobody gets stuck with something like this. Oh, so he's probably gonna leave. Let's go show my brother, see what he thinks about it. Yep. I'm gonna go see what my brother thinks. I know he was curious too, just like everybody else. Smooth as could be. Still on 307s, needs 410s, give or take. Need a CAT scan. Go CAT scan.
Don't leave, I was on the phone.
What do you think? I gotta cut a scene in from before. Pretty sure at the tailpipe you can hear it's not a consistent run. And I know y'all can't see, it's actually smoked up the shop here, unburnt fuel. Ow!
Do we know? I mean, at this point, do we even know?
I mean, know what?
Why? What?
No. I mean, that's what I said. I videoed a little more on the one. It was off the... It went the opposite direction that we was thinking, like 10, 20 thousandths, which goes to like 30, 40 thousandths, but instead of it going up, it went down, which is backwards than what I thought. Makes no sense.
Elgin cams, not a sponsor, but I've never had any issue out of them, and there we go. I don't know what the other one was.
Mexico.
Mexico.
So I got to thinking, number one, if you remember from day one, I said it was something to do with lifter, and I said it was in the motor, and that's exactly what it was. So I got to doing some studying, and I may have over exaggerated just so you see the example, but the factory cam, the used factory cam, exactly what I said, when it come off of lift, it was supposed to go to a complete smooth base circle, and then when it gets back to lift, it'll do its lifting. Well, if you look, peeking around here, well shoot, I should have drew. If you look, I drew a circle. The bottom one is actually the circle right there, and that way when it comes off the lobe, it's literally just resting and regathering its thoughts, whatever lifter needs to do, and then boom, it catches it, and then it holds all the way through there, and then until it gets it here, and then it resets. That's what the lifter's job was. So if I'm right with the crappy cam, it was coming off that and actually sinking down, so it's actually lifting right here in this area again, so it's kind of burping the valve, and then it's having to try to reset. So yeah, probably a crappy explanation, but I just got to thinking, it's like, since day one I said it's in the motor, and I know it's the lifters, I just can't prove it. And exactly what I said, if you can cancel out the lifter, cancel out this whole little crap going on. I don't know, tired of talking about this truck. I don't even know where this scene's going in the video, wherever it's at. Thank you. I'm tired of talking about this truck. I'm ready to move on in life, enjoy my life again. Just quick build, just so y'all know, Justin's part, head, lifter, and cam was like $550. Like 4 or 5 head gaskets, oil filter, spark plugs, radiator, thermostat gasket, heater hoses, oil pump. Never even put the O2 sensor, so mine's like $360, comes out to like $910. I have no idea what will be charged to this guy. I'm just at this point ready to move on. I'm just still freaking amazed by this. Unbelievable. Exterior to neutral. Just as smooth as can be. I never did rechange spark plugs. It's the same ones. Goodness gracious. Going to edit this video. Hopefully it'll be out tomorrow. Thank y'all so much for watching. Sorry for dragging it out. This is not clickbait, I promise. See ya.